Hello friends, welcome to my channel once again. In today's video, I will teach you all the poem Animals written by Walt Whitman. Whitman was early American poet. Let us learn the poem Animals. See the first stanza. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. What he says? I meaning the poet. The poet says, I think I could turn and live with animals. I could turn meaning I would like to go away from the community of human beings and would like to live in the company of animals. The poet is a human being, but he would like to live in the company of animals. The reason is that they are so placid and self-contained. Placid meaning calm, self-contained meaning self-satisfied. Animals are so calm, they do not fight, they don't get angry, they don't frown. So they are quiet and they are self-contained. Self-contained meaning they are self-satisfied, they are not selfish, they don't crave for things, but they are satisfied with what they have. So the poet does not like the behavior of human beings who are not self-satisfied, who are selfish. So he would like to turn away from human beings and would like to live in the company of animals. Placid meaning calm and self-contained meaning self-satisfied. Self-satisfied. So I stand and look at them long and long. So what the poet does is that since he likes the behavior of animals, he stands and look at them for a long time. He observes how they behave. He wonders how is that their behavior is so calm, how is that these animals are so satisfied in their lives. I stand and look at them long and long. Long and long can be repetition. The figure of speech is repetition. Let us see the second stanza. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. What animals do not do is they do not sweat and whine meaning complain. They do not get tired, they do not get sweating, they do not whine about their condition, they don't cry over their poor condition or miserable condition, unlike human beings who keep on complaining about their condition. They complain about their weakness, they complain about their unrest mind, they complain about their poverty, they complain about their unfaithful relations, all such problems that human beings face. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Since animals, they are self-satisfied, they do not lie awake in the dark. They get good sleep. They don't have to lie awake during night time. They have a good sleep, so they don't have to lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Weep meaning cry. They don't have to cry over their sins meaning wrongdoings. They don't do any wrong things, unlike human beings who commit murder, who commit theft, who behaves bad with others, misbehavior with others. So you animals, they do not weep for their sins because they don't create any sins. See the meaning of the word whine. Whine meaning to whine meaning to complain, and sins meaning wrongdoings. Weep meaning to cry. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sin. They do not, the figure of speech is repetition. They do not, they do not sweat, they do not lie. The figure of speech is repetition. So they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. What the poet says, they do not make me feel upset, they do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. Animals don't have their duty to God. Human beings, they have to pray to God, give offerings and ask for returns. So animals, they do not have duty towards God. Not one is dissatisfied. Why they don't have any duty towards God is because they are not dissatisfied. They are satisfied in their life and they do not have to ask for any returns to God. So not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented, meaning to deteriorate mentally. Mentally one is disturbed. So not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with. No animal is mentally disturbed with the thought, with the craze, mania meaning craze, with the craze of acquiring more and more things. They are not selfish to acquire more and more things. Human beings desire keep on increasing. If one want is satisfied, they crave for another. In this way they lose their peace of mind and then they pray to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning. Mania meaning craze of owning things. Human beings, most of the human beings, they have the craze of possessing more and more things. If one want is satisfied, they will have the desire for another one. So not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented, mentally disturbed. Why human beings they are disturbed is because of the craze that they have of acquiring more and more things. See these meanings: demented, to deteriorate mentally, mania meaning craze. The mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one kneels to another, no one bows to another. Every animal, they live in self-respect, they live in self-dignity, so they don't bend to another animal. Just like human beings, they are in their selfishness, they have lost their self dignity, they have lost their self respect, so they kneel to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. The poet in this poem, he speaks about the primitive civilization which was better than this modern civilization. In primitive in primitive civilization, people lived happily. They did not create crimes, they did not create scenes. There was equality. So the poet says, not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. So people who lived thousands of years ago, they were far better than these people in modern age. So the poet would like to go away from this civilization to primitive civilization where people loved each other, they lived in the company of one another, there was equality, justice, fraternity among them. So not lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Not one is respectable. Everybody is respected. No one is considered to be disrespectful, or one is respectable or another is disrespectable. So no one was unhappy over the whole earth. During the primitive civilization, no one was unhappy because there was equality, there was justice, there was fraternity, there was love among human beings. One human being consider other human being as his fellow partner or brother or his brother. So there was so everybody was happily living on the earth. So they show their relation to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. So what these animals they do is they give the poet tokens of myself. They bring me tokens. Token is a sign, mark or symbol of love. Now what tokens they show? They evince meaning they show or show their feelings. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. They have these tokens, these animals, they have these tokens in their possessions, in their custody. Now what tokens they have? Is it the materialistic wealth that the poet is referring to? No. Tokens meaning tokens of love, respect for each other. Let us write. These animals, they have tokens of love, respect, dignity in them. So they have tokens of love, respect, dignity in them. So these animals, animals meaning people in the primitive civilization, people who lived in primitive civilization or in, they had these tokens of love, respect for each other. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince meaning to show. Evince meaning to show that one has a feeling or quality. The poet says in the last stanza, I wonder where they get those tokens. I wonder meaning I think from where they get these qualities of love, respect, from where they have possessed this, from whom they have possessed these qualities. And how is that this modern age man has lost these qualities? I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So he questions this to himself. Did I pass? I meaning here the whole community of human beings. Did I pass that way huge times ago, many years ago? Did I pass that way? Meaning, now these people who are living in modern age, they have passed through primitive civilization. So from primitive civilization, we have come down to medieval period and then the modern period. So we have passed these stages. While we have passed these stages, is it that we have lost these values of love, respect for each other, which were there in us in primitive age? And is it that we have negligently dropped them? Negligent meaning carelessly. Is it that we have lost these values carelessly? Is it that we have lost these values purposely and we have become altogether a different kind of person? We have become selfish. We are least bothered about what is happening. We are not helpful to others. So all these vices that we have in us will uh, makes us dissatisfied, makes us unhappy in our life. So this is all about the poem. If you have liked it, please like, share and subscribe.